or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I need to tell you about these promos that are coming around over in certain Asian territories, Southeast Asia, and they are looking awesome. We're going to dig into them in a minute, but we need to give a quick shout out to Aaron Minjute over on Twitter. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, who has gone and shared these with us because these are awesome. And I love these. I think these are absolutely amazing. And I think these are going to be ones that a lot, and I mean a lot, of people are going to be after. Now, shout out also to Cash Vinder Singh Man, who shared this image of three of them. Nestball, Pidgeot EX, and Forest Seal Stone. And it's nice having a close-up of all three of these, because these are very relevant cards, and they are all very relevant cards. Again, more on this in a second. But you can see exactly what the deal is here. You can see what's going on. These are English cards. Now, they might be being given out in Southeast Asia, but these are English cards. And they are stamped promos, but they are stamped with the Pokemon TCG gym logo, which doesn't exist in the West. This isn't a logo that we're seeing anywhere in US, Europe, etc. This is a logo that exists in Asia. And Asian territories have this logo on a bunch of stuff, but these are English cards. They're not like we see in some Asian territories where they've got English names but different writing sometimes. They are completely and utterly English cards. And when I say English cards, look at the Pidgeot. It's Obsidian Flames 164. Forest Seal Stone is Silver Tempest 156. Nestball is Scarlet and Violet 181. These are Scarlet and Violet, but they're base, you know what I mean. These are exactly the same cards that you would get in English packs. They are English in every way, shape, or form. They just happen to have this Pokemon card gym logo on. And that's awesome. But what it means is these cards are going to be legal in our tournaments. And there's no real question one way or the other as to whether they're going to be. Like, there's no real, well, maybe they'll be legal, but maybe they won't. No, mate, of course they're going to be legal. There really isn't a strong counter-argument for them not being legal, because, yeah, fine, they've been given away in Southeast Asian territories, but they're English cards. On English cardstock, with English writing, they are just going to be fully legal everywhere English cards are legal, and I adore this. I think this is absolutely stunning. But it is going to lead to a little bit of a rush for players to go and get these. Now, remember, they're actually being given away at pre-release events. Twilight Masquerade pre-release events is where these are being given out. And that's kind of awesome. Now, look, we have our pre-release events, right? And there are a bunch of cards that are available, and they look awesome. And look, once again, at the Tatsugiri. Oh, my word, the Tatsugiri is amazing. But we're not getting stuff like this. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys genuinely in the comment section where you fall down on this. Would you prefer the pre-release promos like we get, or would you prefer these older cards, relevant cards, with the stamp on? Because these are very good cards. Like, just for a second to take the three we've got here. We've got Nestball that lets you search for a basic Pokemon and is a staple in most decks. Most decks are going to play this. It is, by a bit of a margin, the best Pokemon search we've got at the moment. Yes, it only goes and gets basic Pokemon, I understand, but it is far and away the best Pokemon search we've got at the moment. It's great. Forest Seal Stone is a ridiculous tool, gives you a V-star power on any Pokemon V that lets you search for any cards you like, and there's still enough Pokemon Vs around that. I'm not saying every deck that plays Pokemon V will play this, alright? But I absolutely am saying that a lot of decks that play Pokemon V will play this, and then this gives them that ability to let them search for any card whatsoever. Absolutely ridiculous. Phenomenal card. And then, of course, you've got Pidgeot, who, I mean, come on, it's Pidgeot. Now, as it stands at the moment, only really seeing play with Charizard, those two make a rather lovely pair. But of course, when Dragapult comes around in Twilight Masquerade, and bearing in mind this is a Twilight Masquerade pre-release we're talking about here, we are going to see it paired with that. It's not the only way to play Dragapult, and there's a fair amount of information out there to tell us it's not even the best way to play Dragapult. But I'm telling you, it is a good way to play Dragapult that a lot of people are going to be trying. So these 3 cards, as a little bit of a sample size, are amazing. Now I'm going to show you a bunch more in a minute, but let's just take Miraidon for a second. I love me some Miraidon, huge fan of Miraidon. I think I've made that pretty gosh darn clear over the past year and a bit since it's been legal in the format. Well, good news. Miraidon is here. You can get a Pokemon TCG Gym stamped Miraidon EX, and it's wonderful, and it's lovely, and we love it. But here's where it gets interesting, and to be clear, a lot of cards are going to fall into this particular category. There is a prize pack variant of this card as well. So Miraidon EX, yeah, there's a prize pack version. And now there's a pre-release Pokemon TCG Gym stamped version. And they're very, very, very similar cards. I just got the image off of eBay here. It's there, it's available. If anyone's wondering, the one up on eBay at the moment is $6. That is how much someone is asking for this. Now, it's showing $15 for me at the moment, but that is because I am in the UK. I've got to pay a little bit of postage. I'll be honest with you, for $6, that seems like an absolute bargain. I feel like I might want to go pick this one up. But these are, the point I'm making, these are essentially equivalent cards. These are basically the same thing here, whereby they are the regular cards, and the only difference really here is that they've got a fancy stamp on. And if that's cool for you, that's brilliant. If you're not interested, that's fine. There's plenty of other people that will be. But we do then get the question of, well, hang on a second, which one is actually better? Is the prize pack one we get better, or is the card gym one they get better? And the answer is, I don't know. That's a personal opinion. As someone who primarily collects Japanese cards, I will say I kind of prefer the new one. I like these ones from Southeast Asia a little bit more. Please don't be mad at me. But if we go back to the image, one of the first ones I showed you here, the image that we got from Aaron Minjute here, oh my word, it's kind of like a who's who of competitive Pokemon cards. Now, I don't think this is all of them. I'm sure more will get unveiled later, but this gives you a really good look at some of the cards that are coming. So in terms of EXs, now I'll be honest with you, the only other EX that's been shown off is Toedscruel EX. That is not a particularly good, relevant, or playable card. I'm sorry if that sounds mean, but I don't think anyone is getting particularly excited about Toedscruel EX. I'm not saying it's terrible garbage, but I am saying it's not very good. But what about the Radiant Pokemon? I mean, we've got Radiant Greninja here, who is the best Radiant Pokemon we've had. I think it's pretty clear, hands down, best Radiant Pokemon. Great attack that can do 90 to 2 different Pokemon, and an ability lets you discard an energy and draw 2 cards. Clearly a phenomenal card, sees play in a whole bunch of decks, everybody loves it. There is only really one candidate for potentially better Radiant Pokemon, and that's Charizard, who is the other Radiant Pokemon we see down here. And what's gone on here is exactly what's gone on with the prize packs. These have been designed by somebody who clearly follows the game, who knows the game, and has gone to a fair bit of effort to make sure that the cards being represented here are actually good, playable cards that people will want, rather than just random cards nobody's interested in. I, for one, massively appreciate that. Yes, there's some Pokemon here like Luxray, who is meh, and Hawlucha, who has, shall we say, fallen out of favour. But Baxcalibur, that accelerates water energy and sees a huge amount of play. Mimikyu, that blocks attacks from, or blocks damage from EXs and Vs and sees a huge amount of play. And then we've got trainer cards like Electric Generator, which is an absolute staple in Lightning decks to get the energy out. Or Bravery Charm, which we see in a bunch of decks to give a bit of extra HP. Or Superior Energy Retrieval, which sees play in a bunch of decks to get your energy back. The point I'm making here is, these are not random cards, these are great cards that see a bunch of play, and I love it. And for a lot of the time, I'll show you these cool news stories coming out of other countries, other territories, other regions, and you'll go, Wossy, that's cool, but who really cares? Well, you know what? A lot of people are going to care about this because these cards are English and they are legal. They will be legal over here, and that means a lot of people are going to want them to bling out their decks and make them cool. And I showed you a couple of these the other day when this was first revealed. I've now shown you a much bigger section of them, a much bigger segment. I've shown you more of them, basically. And I don't think I've shown you all of them here. I think there's more to come. But what we've learned about this, and the reason why this is so much better than we thought it was before, is because we can see how great these cards are, how well they match the metagame, and how much people are going to like them. I reckon these are going to end up being a bit more expensive than the Play Pokemon prize packs. I can't prove that, but I think they're going to be. But I've told you everything you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these. Tell me which cards you would like are the ones I've seen, and tell me which of these ones you would like, at least that you hope exist. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.